All right. Welcome, everyone. Hi, Miss Nikki. Hi, Sir Richie. We are now live, actually, via LSU Zone channel and Canvas of LSU.
Recording in progress.
Okay. So, at the moment, we are now 56. This room is good for 300 anyway. Maybe the others can catch up pa. Okay. We'll just start in 2 minutes. Again, may I encourage everyone to rename our profiles. No, please include from which office you belong. If you're from Basic Ed, begin with BED. If you're from the College of Business Administration, start with CBA. For La Salle Mission, LMS, so on and so forth. Thank you. And if we can turn on our cameras once we start, much better. We begin. Maayong hapon sa tanan. This is Brother Butch and welcome to Juan Talks 2.0. I think this is the second time. The first time we had this was with Miss Corinne from Malaysia last year. You know? So this for our family days, we have invited two kapwa missionario from the College of St. Benilde and Dasmariñas. Both actually are Bisaya. No? So chill lang kakarong hapuna. No? So I'm sure the School for Deaf community of LSU are very much happy to see one of our hosts this afternoon. No? So yun lang. But let's save the introduction later. But we begin our afternoon with a prayer lang. Okay? Let us remember that we are in the most holy presence of God. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Let me be the change I want to see. To do with strength and wisdom all that needs to be done. And become the hope that I can be. Set me free from my fear and hesitation. Fill me with spirit to face the challenge. So change I want to see. I start change I want to see. Even if I'm not the light, I can be a spark. It's and communion. Let us start to change. We want to see the change that begins in me. Today I start change I want to see. Even if I'm not alive, I can be a star. Sunset and communion. Let us start the change we want to see. Change that begins in me. Jesus in us. Jesus in us.
St. John Baptist de La Salle,
Pray for us
leave Jesus in our hearts forever.
forever.
Amen. Maayong lasal kanatong tanan. Welcome to Juan Talks 2.0 for our Panaglambigit 2022. This is part and parcel of our celebration that started today until Friday. So welcome. There are 70 of us. This room can accommodate 300. For our session this afternoon, we have invited two Lasallian leaders from one is from the De La Salle College of St. Benilde and the other is from DLSU Dasmariñas, pero pareho gini silang Bisaya. You know, naning sila dugang Bisaya. So okay ra. For our session this afternoon, we wanted to reflect or converse on ensuring healthy university life. No? It's been 2 years since the pandemic started and has consumed all of us. No? It has affected us personally and professionally. For this afternoon, we would like to get to know the thoughts and feelings of Miss Nikki and Sir Richie, and then freely converse about how we are able to ensure that there's something good that will take place in our university, especially here in La Salle, Ozamis, no? And then we can learn from them, no? And how they cope up. And siguro later we'll be opening our plenary for questions also. So feel free to ask questions if you do have questions for our resource speakers this afternoon. And our first guest for this afternoon, she's commonly called as Nikki, but her real name is Maria Veronica Templo Perez. Is currently the Vice President for Lasallian Mission and Student Life at the La Salle College of St. Benilde. She has been with Benilde since 2001 as faculty member and later on Dean of the School of Deaf Education and Applied Studies from 2009 to 2018. Nikki was also the director of the St. Brother Jaime Hilario Institute, a training center that offers short courses for persons with disabilities from 2015 to 2018. Nikki is a Filipino Sign Language interpreter who served in various national events, such as the State of the Nation Address of President Aquino and Duterte, the national election debate in 2016, the papal visit in 2015, the inauguration of Vice President Leni Robredo in 2016, the primetime news from 2020 until the present. That's why actually you will always see her in many screens, no, mga news episodes na may gamay nga TV dito gagawas na siya, because she does the interpretation. And most recently, the special news coverage of ABS-CBN for 2022 elections. Fellow Lasallians, let's welcome Miss Nikki Templo Perez.
Hello po, brother. Akala ko you will mention my Osamis connection.
I forgot. She has a connection pala sa Osamis, no? She belongs to the Bernard family, no? Maybe you can share about that later, no? Because I mentioned this to Tita Perang and then she said, how come she has not visited me for many years, no? So bantay kaniya.
Oh,
maybe next in a while, maybe you can share it with us, no, your roots here in Osamis. Welcome, Miss Nikki. Thank you for saying yes.
Always welcome, brother.
Thank you. Our second guest is a formator by heart and orientation with a master's in pastoral ministry from the Ateneo de Manila University. He has been with the La Salle University Dasmariñas for the last 23 years. He's a Bolano, Filipino, Lasalliano, and Cristiano, and currently the Vice Chancellor for Lasallian Mission and Formation. He's also a current member of the Lasallian Partners Council. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, maayong pagdawat kang Sir Richie Bongcaron. Sir Richie, may hapon.
Daghang salamat, brother. Mga kaigsuunan natong Lasalliano sa LSU, maayong hapon. Miss Nikki, maayong hapon. Thank you, brother, for having us.
Yeah. Would like also to welcome everyone. There are 82 of us already. This is a good number for us. No? This is for our administrators, faculty, and staff. No, we would like also to acknowledge all of them here. No? Again, please don't forget to change your profile. No? Please include kung asa mo nga office gikan. So this afternoon, actually, Sir Richie and Miss Nikki, so I called you just Richie and Nikki na lang. No? Ano lang, this is just a simple conversation on on the topic that was brought before us. No? Conversations on ensuring healthy university life. Especially that we are looking now at hopefully, we are now on the journey to the end of the pandemic and the journey also to the new normal. We would like to know kumusta kayo, no? It's one of the ngun pa nila medyo isa sa mga pinakamahalagang tanong na palaging tinatanong ngayon, kumusta ka? Maybe we'll start with Miss Nikki. Kumusta ka, Miss Nikki?
Kakatanong lang sa amin yan. We had a mass this afternoon. So the director of our Center for Lasallian Ministry, nung palabas na ako, sabi niya, kamusta ka? Sabi ko, wag kasi ganyan ang tanong. Hirap naman, no? Ganyan. But today is the first day of the third term here in Benilde, Manila campus, kasi we have an Antipolo campus. So it's the first day of the third term. Limited face-to-face classes na kami. Wala pa ang mga estudyante this term, pero nagbabalikan na ang administrators and our associates, yung mga office-based operations and academic support na associates namin. They're coming back na to the campus. And there is some struggle kasi syempre 2 years din kaming work from home. Nasanay kami na kama to office in 10 seconds, di ba? Tapos we really have to take the time to, it takes me 2 hours to prepare in the morning before I leave the house. So if I leave at 6, I have to be up by 4. Or if I leave at 7, I have to be up by 5. Bakit? Kasi bumalik na ang traffic ng Maynila is one. At ang traffic ng Cavite, kasi taga Cavite ako, so dadaan muna ako sa traffic ng Cavite bago sa traffic ng Maynila. And because may pandemya pa rin, the preparation that we have to make, I have to make sure na I've wiped down everything, na wala akong makakalimutan. Nadala ko lahat ng paraphernalia ko, yung aking alcohol, yung aking wipes, lahat, no, na hindi makakalimutan. Yun, it's still naninibago, brother. Naninibago pa rin kami. Medyo slightly mahirap, but kinakaya, kailangan kayanin. Because like our brother president here says, as administrators, we are the example. If we don't show a strong front, hindi rin lalakas ang loob ng aming mga associates, the ones that are under our care. So yun.
Yun. Thanks, Miss Nikki. Thank you, Nikki, for sharing kung kumusta ka, no? If I heard you right, tama ba? You were parang ang setup ng Benilde, full work from home. As in, walang tao sa campus?
Nung 2 years, in the past 2 years, brother, yes. Konting-konti lang on campus. Kasi we also became first we were, we provided sleeping quarters for yung frontliners na taga PGH. Kasi malapit lang kami parehong along Taft, di ba? So dahil nandyan sila, wala talagang papasok. Kasi we gave them the use of the campus. And then after, nung hindi na kami nag-provide for them, nilapitan naman kami ng Red Cross to be what do you call that? Yung kapag quarantine. Yan. Quarantine facility din kami for a while. Kailan lang yun nag-end? Last November lang kami natigil na maging quarantine facility. So hindi talaga makakapasok ang mga tao. Yun. So ngayon lang nagbabalikan so far.
Wow, that's interesting, no? Kasi before I ask Richie kung kumusta na siya, kasi sa Osamis, I just realized, no, in reporting the last 2 years safely. I mean, depende din sa parang local protocols, no?
Yeah.
Sa inyo pala zero, no?
Meron din pala
Meron
kami
naman.
skeleton. Ano lang, admissions, registrar, at saka finance.
Yun.
At saka security at housekeeping. Yun lang.
At least. The rest wala na, bahay na. Okay.
Bahay na.
Same lang na rin pala. Same. Yan. Sige. Thank you, Nikki. How about you, Richie? Kumusta ka?
Pwedeng i-affirm ko na lang si Miss Nikki para to have enough time for the conversation. Seriously, thank you, brother. I have a colleague in the university na every time I am asked the same question of kumusta ka, a usual reply is, do you have enough time to listen? Such a short question, but it does evoke so many possible responses. But to answer the question and isip sharing pod no to the rest of those who are here, our fellow Lasalians, we're basically really trying to ano ba go through the years, especially during the period of the pandemic, major ang adjustment pod. So basically, the experience, siguro lahi-lahi lang ang context because like for example, ang konteksto ng St. Benilde is lahi when it comes to the kind of context we have in the La Salle University, Dasmariñas. But basically, it was a major, when the pandemic started, major adjustment. No? Dili kaayo sa among mga online classes because prior to the pandemic, we were already beginning to offer. It was really more of the people adjusting to the new setup. Sobrang affected ang kadaghanan namo. Ako, I live now in Laguna. Me and my wife live in Laguna. I used to have a place in Dasmariñas now. But we transferred a little over a year, or almost 2 years now also from when at the height of the pandemic. Kasi in Dasma, isa ang Dasma sa mga major, may mga major cases. No?
That's true.
Even the brothers community na ay mga brothers nga walang exposure pero nakakuha og COVID. No? And you know nga sa Dasmariñas, we have the La Salle University Medical Center. The DLSUMC was deeply part of trying to address COVID in the province of Cavite. And because we share the same president, we were also made part of the kind of intervention and responses we were giving to the community. For example, just like what Ms. Nikki was saying, ang among retreat center, kay wala man sa user, it was also converted to be a facility for frontliners. So many of the frontliner medical personnel were actually staying at our retreat center. So hatid sundo sila no, from and to the hospital. So ang campus in general, ang among mga trees nakapahuway gamay sa presence ng mga tao. But overall, we also needed to accompany people. One of the most important things siguro na pwede kong mabanggit at ma-share is may mga nabuo kaming mga online accompaniment opportunities for the community. So para sa akin, very positive yan. And it's something perhaps that we can really learn. Nag-strengthen ang online opportunity, but it did not just offer an opportunity for our classes. It also offered opportunity for us to accompany each other. Biglang nabuo yung mga rosary group namo that they usually pray at night at 8 p.m. No, it's a combination of faculty and staff and even a few students joining. So walang sectoral rep doon. If you are part of the community, you would like to join the rosary group, you're part of that. We also needed to make sure na ang among mga estudyante were also accompanied. While we were all really trying to adjust big time to the reality, we did not stop from doing what we were supposed to be doing. Yes, we had to deal with the changes, but ako, because I'm part of the admin team also, so I get to know, we have had conversations of how to deal with this. Are we going to be full work from home? Are we going to allow people on skeletal force or on rotation? In fact, kami karon up to the end of the school year, we're on rotation basis, work from home for our and teachers. They're not required to report online because they are teaching full online kami. Ang aming official start of the face-to-face sa first semester pa of the next school year. Karon, we're just beginning to accommodate students who would like to come to school to do activities. So following protocol pa rin na and all regulations na kailangan i-observe. So overall, doon sa question of kumusta ka, if you have enough time, I can talk more. Pero I'm grateful to God nga kaming dalawa ni Mrs. Well, I pray for those who are directly affected. I'm just grateful na kami were not really affected. I'm also careful because of the nature of my work. I work closely with the brother president in Brother Gus, and we're really trying to protect him from getting the disease. So that my initial response. Daghang salamat.
Parang that's one of my curious question. How does it feel to work with brothers? No. Maybe we'll ask also that question later. No? But yeah, before I proceed to the next question, parang I think the technical team shared with us a Google Drive. If you want to change your backdrop to panaglambiget backdrop, just click on the Google Drive and then just change your background. Pwede naman siya. It's nice. And then yun, maybe before, actually there's a lot of preliminary questions already, but how does it feel to work with brothers? Parang how is it for you? Kumusta naman kayo working with brothers? No, in the case of Richie, you work with the brother Gus, and then Nikki, you work with brother Dodo. Both are former superiors of the brothers, and I'm sure everyone else are interested here, no? Because the two brothers have not been here, no. But how does it feel to work with brothers, pala? How is it? Kumusta working with brothers?
Richie, ikaw.
Let's go.
Siguro between me and Miss Nikki, si Miss Nikki, not just with Brother Dodon, because I've seen she's been a colleague in mission for years. No, she's been working also with other brothers. Ako officially, and in terms of the function that I have. So si Brother Gas talaga yung officially I get to work with na directly reporting ako sa kanya. I must say this. Murag ang nahitabo it was accidental that I ended up working directly with the brother president. So some 15 years ago, when he came to De La Salle University, Dasmariñas, I was more into student affairs. Like what Brother Butch mentioned at the beginning. My heart really is more into formation and accompanying young people. So prior to being involved with planning and strategic planning under the president. Prior to that, I was really with student affairs. And my approach in doing such is really more of a formative developmental way of accompanying people. So when I became part of the brother president, his team, as if naman ang dami namin sa team, konti lang kami. Paano ba? I was asked to see him, and when I was asked to see him, I thought, mangutana lang whether I'm interested or not. When he said, okay, I'll see you tomorrow, we'll start with this, and I was like, did I say yes? And the rest is history. But what is truly a blessing for me working with the brothers, I get to grow even more in my appreciation of the mission. I call myself a Lasallian by choice. I label myself a Lasallian by choice because I was educated, syempre, gikan sa Bohol, sa Panglao. Kaya eskwela ko sa parochial school, sa high school. I received scholarships. I was able to study sa eskwelahan ni Brother Butch sa University of San Carlos. So I was educated by the SBD. Ang formation nako is with the Passionist. And because of that, I had a chance to study at the back of Ateneo, which is Loyola School of Theology. Diba? And I had no idea about La Salle prior. Until I became part of the Lasallian family. So with Brother Gus, even if I didn't know I said yes, I was made to say yes already, but that started my growth in terms of a better appreciation of the mission. Because I work closely with Brother Gus, my time with him is always like recollections with Brother Gus. For so many years, I look forward to all times when he would say, call Richie, or he would call me, see me Richie, or come to the office, etc. ano yan when I say that, it is with such honor to be saying that, because I am so grateful. Of course, those are private conversations. So aside from work, I grew to really appreciate Brother Gus as parang tatay, lolo. But our relationship is such that sobrang na-appreciate ko ang kanyang pagka-brother at yung pagmamahal niya ng kapwa niya brothers. This one I can really assure everyone. Sobrang mahal ni Brother Gus ang kanyang mga brothers. I'm talking about the De La Salle brothers. Walang pili yan, from young ones to the older brothers. Sobra ang kanyang sa lahat. So, to that question, it's an honor. It's a blessing to have been given the chance to work closely with Brother Gus. But I have had the chance naman to work with other brothers along the way, including Brother Butch and the rest of those brothers. Now my working relationship is with younger brothers as well, in terms of the work in promoting the brothers' vocation. So that's part of my personal commitment to the mission also. So thank you. I hope I answered your question. Makalipay ba ang akong tubag?
Oo.
Ang bait mo sumagot. Ang bait mo sumagot.
Ikaw Nikki, how's
Ako, oo nga. Huwag na Miss Nikki. Oo. Okay, ano ba? Before working with the brothers as an adult, I actually worked with Brother Victor Franco when I was very young. I was part of a group called SHARE, Service for Human and Religious Experience. And this is a group of peer counselors. I wasn't even from La Salle, I was a scholastican. But because I received training in peer counseling from the peer counselors of La Salle Guineals, I became part of that group. And so I met Brother Vic. And if you have met Brother Vic, he is for me, he is the how to be you po of the La Salle brothers. He is, for me, ewan ko lang sa inyo, pero he is very gentle. Walang masamang tinapay kay Brother Vic. And he speaks kindly of everyone. Hindi ko pa ever siya nakita na nagalit. So, yon.
That's true. That's true.
Di ba? Parang and I was 16, 15 at the time. I'm now 45.
Wow.
I've never And he, to be honest, he doesn't play favorites also. He knew me since I was young. I got married to someone from Benil. At nahagip kami nung policy na bawal ang mag-asawa sa Benil. At that time, Brother Vic was part of the General Council in Rome.
Uh-huh.
I wrote to him, brother, help us. Parang kasi we both wanted to stay. But, he didn't reply to my email at all. So sabi ko, baka naman hindi niya nakuha yung email ko, hayaan ko na lang. And then, so my husband left, had to leave Benil. Nung medyo naproseso ko na yung sarili ko at hindi na masama ang loob ko sa school dahil pinaalis yung asawa ko. Sumulat ako kay brother, and then I said na my husband left, there is life outside of Benil, my work with the mission continues. He wrote back. That was when he wrote back, and he said na he thanked me for still being part of the mission. So dun ko na feel na he didn't want to get involved. He didn't want to get involved. Parang he cared for me, but he also respected my administrators at that time, and he didn't want to, overturn things just because, one of his children asked for help. And then later on, when he became our president here in Benil, I wasn't directly under him, but every time someone would come to me and say, kausapin mo naman si Brother Vic, I could tell them, hindi ko yan masusway. He believes in his administrators. So, that's my first brother. All other brothers are different na. As we always say in inclusion, individual differences. Iba-iba yung mga brothers. Sure. My current brother president, when he called me to say na he was appointing me as the vice president for La Salle Mission and Student Life, habang pandemya pumunta ako sa Lasal Green Hills from Bacoor. Medyo malayo-layo yun. So that he could tell me that he was appointing me. The first thing I told him, pero nangangatog-ngatog ako nung sinabi ko. Brother, balita ko, bawal daw mag-no sa inyo. But I'm so sorry. There will be times, if you are appointing me in this position, there will be times that I have to tell you no. Of course, he told me na that's not true. People can say no to him, gano'n, no? Pero I just wanted to put it out there. I guess there is a I don't know, parang people think that those are the brothers eh. Boss mo yan eh. Hindi ka dapat mag-no dyan kung anong gusto nila. That's it. I am very privileged to have worked with brothers that I could say no to if I believe that that is what is best for the community. Because the brothers, I'm sorry brother.
Okay lang.
Because the brothers are reassigned every few years.
That's
Except
true.
for Brother Gus, who has been with Dasma forever. Pero the brothers are reassigned every few years. And tayo na lay administrators and partners, we will be left to manage the community after they have left, after nila ma-reassign, di ba? So, always kong iniisip, I know as brothers, you love the schools, you love all your schools. But as the people who run your schools, we have to let you know what is best for the schools at times. Ewan kung dahil malakas lang ang loob ko.
Hindi naman halata. Hindi halata.
Pero ganon. Pero so far, so good naman.
Thanks. Thank you for sharing, Nikki. That was very interesting. Ako, I think I'm the only brother, so it's all right. Although this is recorded, I can share this with the brothers.
Ay, wow.
Siguro I'm also wondering, yung mga partners natin or associates as we call it in Binil, di ba?
Yes.
Our partners here in LSU, kumusta kaya experiences niyo with the brothers, no? Sino bang brother ang inyong nakatrabaho and kinsa inyong dito lang ta sa inyong ganahan, no? If you can share sa chat box, no? Nganong ganahan ka ni nga brother, or you know, if you also don't, if there's a brother you don't like and you want to share, it's all right also. It stays lang sa chat box, no? And then I'm sure naman we have experiences nga na atay gusto na tay dili, no? So and it's part and parcel of our lives, no? Even not just the brothers, not get to be administrators. There are administrators we like. There are also administrators we don't like. There are faculty we don't like. There are also faculties that we like. Same with our staff. I mean, it applies to everybody. Nagkataon lang dyan na ang brothers have been entrusted, no, to look after everyone in the community. Yun lang yung mahirap, no? If you notice, fellow Lasalians from Ozamis, no, this is like a vice president's forum for mission, no. But we're not here to ano lang, no. Feel free to participate. You can ask questions if you'd like to ask questions. Just put it in the chat box or message directly sa kanang nakapangalan na Juan Talks, no. If you do have questions, send your direct your messages to them or sa COA or sa chat box na lang mismo. Okay? Later, there's a time to ask questions. Hi, thank you, Miss Lisbeth. Muna kung gusto siya kay musulti gid siya. Brother Benildo Feliciano, breaks at sa questions. Strict like a father, gentle like a mother. Ay, that's so true. I will agree. We call him the general. Namin nabuta. Brother Jun Urgiza was one of the best presidents I've worked with. Wow, that's magdugay-dugay na gidin sila sa Lasal.
I will share something, brother. The brother who parang made me realize na tao din pala tong mga to. Brother Hans Moran.
Ha! Hello, Ozamis.
I know. I'm sorry ha. I knew Brother Hans when he was assigned to before he was assigned to Osamis. And then when he was assigned to Osamis, and that was the time of the Kuratong Baleleng. So, sorry but sabi ko, kasi ang akin, syempre, growing up Manila, hanggang Dumaguete lang ako noon, hindi ako napupunta ng Osamis. So parang for me, napakalayo ng Osamis. So, tinanong ko talaga siya, so anong ginawa mo? Bakit ka pinadala ng Mindanao? Parang feeling ko, may ginawa ka, no? Parang they want to give you a piece of humility, no? Parang gano'n, no? But he is, where he is now? He's in Africa.
It's in Africa.
And he volunteered
Yeah,
to do that. So parang, the brothers, they have good hearts. It just comes in, different packages.
Sometimes they also, parang there are brothers who can balance the life in the university. There are also brothers who will also challenge the balance in the university. No?
Amo na, yeah.
So, mugid na siya. Maybe I'd just like to redirect with for the question, no? Parang as caretakers of the mission, especially kaming duha, what challenged you in the university in the last 2 years, and how are you able to manage this? No, we don't have. I'm sure ang mission medyo tako kaysa. I mean, you can focus na siguro on 1 or 2 areas, and then just from there. No, what challenged you in the university that you work with, and how did you manage it? Maybe I'll start with Miss Nikki muna.
Oo.
Okay.
Sorry, I have to leave at 3, no? Kasi
yes.
my president is waiting for me for a meeting. I'll be candid. Don't share talaga this recording. We had to provide. Okay, I came in as the mission head in the middle of the pandemic, after a year of the pandemic. And I came in and the community was hurting. The community was hurting because we had to let go of many people, either through voluntary retirement, through a voluntary retirement program, or through redundation. And the people who left were hurt, kahit na parang sinasabi nga nung iba naming admin dito. Ako yung pasaway na admin. Nagaling kasi ako na I was a part-time faculty. Alam mo yun, I kinda went through all the levels of being an associate before I became administrator. So, alam ko yung kwento. Ang kwento nila noon was, although it's called voluntary retirement, they felt like they had no choice but to take the retirement program. That was why they were hurting. Yung mga natira, hurting din kasi pagod na. I'll give you an example, student life. The Center for Student Life is under my office. Nangalahati ang student life after the voluntary retirement program. And yet the work remained the same. The volume of work remained the same. So how did we cope? We had to really listen. It helped to have opportunities to listen to each other. Ano lang talaga, puro conversations. We tried to manage the work down to the bare minimum. Never mind paasko. Kung anong higin sa amin ng paasko, di ba? Never mind. Nahihirapan ng mga tao. We had to, the formation program had to step up kasi we had to, we had to help heal broken hearts dahil sa mga nawalan ng trabaho, nagkakasakit, kailangan namin pakita na Benilde still cares. And maraming hindi na naniniwala na we still cared. Tapos, that was, the coping and the praying, we really had to pray. We really had to pray. And now that we're going to come back na limited face-to-face, all the more we need to have conversations. Kahit na hindi namin physically maakap yung mga tao, at least magkakasama. Yung fist bump, parang, oh my gosh, how emotional for us. Yung something as simple as that. Kasi, ang tagal namin hindi nagkita, and honestly, Benilde is not out of the woods yet. Our enrollment is down, and, the community can feel it. But I think we cope by talking to each other, by learning to communicate honestly and authentically. At saka we had to recognize talaga that everyone was going through something. Napakasimple, no? Wala naman kaming grand strategic master plan to manage everything. It was really yung heart-to-heart talks and showing them that they cared. Simpleng pagbigay ng kit, COVID care kit sa mga nagkasakit. Yun, that was a big thing already. Pakita lang talaga na, and to assure them that the college still cares for them.
Parang, I think that I don't have to ask the second question because you were already sharing the initiatives, no? It seems na parang at best there were some initiatives coming from Benil, no? I wonder sa Dasmariñas. How about Dasmariñas, Richie?
Parang mahilig akong mangopya ng sagot. I say that because more or less pare-pareho ang ating situation. Kagaya ng sinabi ko when I started with my sharing, may kanya-kanya tayong degree of, the kind of situation we're facing. Iba-iba lang yung level natin of addressing situations, but basically the same context. No? At the height of pandemic, one of the major conversations that we were really talking about in the universities, will we end up like many of the schools that needed to close? Dili na nila kayang mag-operate. Did it come as part of our many conversations? Yes. Did we feel like it was going to happen at some point? Yes. Because we did recognize na challenge good ang enrollment. Not only enrollment but also people. Grabe ang takot, ang kahadlok sa mga tao because yun nga, very uncertain ang feeling ng lahat ng tao kasi nga hindi mo nakikita ang term na naririnig namin kasi hindi natin kasi nakikita ang kalaban. We cannot afford to just say, people have to report. People have to come back because we need to do accounting work, etc. We need to address the needs of our students because registrar has to come because may mga needs ang estudyante. It's not that easy to get people to come, to report, and do the work. And then my comparison yan. If you ask certain people to report, they would also ask, then why are others not made to report as well? Which is a reality, di ba? Kasi, for example, magpoproseso tayo ng ating mga sweldo, 1530 for 2 years. You need to process that and all the other financial transactions. And there are certain, because we're not ready, hindi tayo disaster-proof in many ways, including COVID. So na mga transactions that needed to be done on campus. So when you let people do that, you need to make sure that these are people who are coming to school safe and secure. So at some point, we needed to decide, for example, we have to provide transportation for those people we're asking to report because they need to report, they cannot work from home. Other concerns included things like, you want us to continue working at home, nag-adjust sa atong work arrangement. We don't have computers at home to use to continue working what we're working. Diba? So, wala may connection. Naami wifi pero naami internet pero data ra. Mogamit lang ka og video gamay maurot dayon ang imong data. So how are we going to address that? Those are all valid concerns. Aside from the fact that these people are dealing with the fact na naay members sa pamilya na nagka-COVID or sila mismo. Although we're grateful that overall, ang DLSUD, dili alarming ang number. Kaluoy sa Diyos, walay community transmission pagdating sa COVID. Pero we have had cases here. It's a combination of faculty, staff, and students getting COVID. So at the time that I became VCMF, which was August 1 of last year, so pretty much like Miss Nikki lang, halos magkasunod lang kami. We also introduced a new structure in the university whereby we brought in a new chancellor in Brother Soki de la Rosa. So Brother Soki came in August to become our new chancellor. So pag-ong set up siya sa university. So while he was the one directly addressing daily operations as part of what he is supposed to be doing as chancellor, So namobilize ang administration. No? People were really making sure that we accompanied and worked closely with the other chancellor. So more of siya yung may exposure, siya yung mas may nakakakita ng dailiness of the experiences. So pareho sad, no? So as we were addressing that, we were also thinking kung saan na lang nato ni karon pag-accompany ang atong formation sa atong mga kabataan. Especially we were not ready for a full online recollection. We were not ready for a full online retreat. We were not ready for a full online Lasallian formation. And we were not ready to do online mass and other related spiritual activities. But what I'm so proud about the team, even before I came in, what I'm so proud about our formation team is that they also adjusted and adapted to the whole thing. So abot ng kanilang makakaya, they adjusted and they really made sure nga naay presence where people can really say, if people would ask, naabay mga taga-campus ministry nga pwedeng maistorya, people were making themselves available. So na-develop to nga people were trying to gather online. And one of the needs is that mga staff, they just wanted to have people, talk to them, pray with them. So the struggle was real, ika nga. The struggle was real. We are also still trying to address. Financially, we're also being challenged. But what I love about the whole, well, not really love naman kasi hindi dapat. But what I like lang with the way the brothers are leading the team to address the situation is abot ng ating makakaya, we need to take care of everyone. Kaluoy sa Diyos hanggat maaari, let's not try to get people off the university. Let's adjust, let's try. So, unsay nahitabo? Some of our staff, for example, library, there are no people interaction in the library. Kasagaran online. And most of our library staff are people who are facing people on a regular basis, mga transactions. So, there were adjustments. We needed to look at certain offices that needed people. So, pansamantala, for example, another example, ang aming student formation, a student welfare and formation office, translation, discipline office po yan, but ours is more formative, again, developmental in approach. So we call it SWAFO office. Sino ang imo-monitor ng mga SWAFO online? Di ba? I mean, so ang among mga estudyante, ang ilang work is now, they're not doing anything, supposedly. So what did we do? Instead of just simply retrenching or redundating people, we were looking at how can we still keep people. So some were moved to another unit na pwede silang mag-perform ng task. And then, tungod kay most of our transactions are online, it gave rise to a unit that we can now call client care unit. So some of our staff from SWAFO, they were brought in as part of the CCU or the client care unit. They answer emails, inquiries, they answer phone calls. So concentrated tanan dito nga opisina before it's ibato sa office concern. So even if the question is financial, sa CCU muna. So they were given the chance. Some in fact are still in that unit while we are not yet resorting back to full face-to-face program in the university. So ang kanindot lang in the Lasallian mission, in the work that we do, the brothers with the guidance of the board are making sure that we will continue doing what we're doing because we are an institution that has a clear mission orientation. So the challenges have been there. Padayon that we remain challenged, but the option is how to really try to do better for the mission. Again, pretty much ang mga challenges is
Yeah. Parang it's interesting you shared client care unit tapos ang sabi niyo institutional help desk. That's interesting. I think in LSU we do have, but I just forgot how it was called. Pero there were also initiatives to retool or reassign lay partners to new offices just to keep them. I forgot the name of the group. Client. It's something to do with client is certainly you here. It's something to do about client care also. So that's interesting.
And they receive thousands of emails, inquiries. Some are a bit rude, some are,
Yeah.
I will tell our help desk kasi yung amin hundreds lang. Para sabihan ko sa kanila, Dasma thousands. So
Yeah,
dapat
we
sila masyado nagko-complain dapat pala.
The
Pero alam mo brother, yung kasi no listening to Richie, parang yung challenge ngayon, now we are coming back. Kasi I don't know, it's good to know that Dasma was, trying to keep everyone intact na walang bibitaw, walang malilet go. Sa amin, alam mo, maliban from those that we had to let go, a number of the members of our community died from COVID. And sunod-sunod. I don't know if ang mga marites nakaabot ng Osamis, but we had one of our associates die while on a Zoom call on a meeting. He just had a heart attack and fell, and no one could do anything kasi nasa Zoom di ba? Parang and the processing that had to be done by the counselors dun sa mga kasama niya sa Zoom call, di ba? And yun ang what we're preparing for now. As the community comes back, they will realize na there are so many changes.
Yeah.
Na the names, like sina brother, like Richie, nag-reorg kami, nag-rename ng offices. They will come back, iba yung pangalan ng opisina. They will come back, hindi na sila sa dati nilang opisina, iba na yung opisina nila. When they are finally seated in their space, they will realize, wala na si ganyan, nag-retire na. Wala na si ganyan, umanaw na. So, we have to also take care of them. Na, the transitioning, it's difficult talaga.
Well, when we're talking about health, what we're talking is mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, economic health even, no? So I think our conversation covered that already, no? And yeah, I'm sure even here in LSU, our partners have that same experiences also.
Bro, if I may add,
yeah.
For example, no, we're beginning to the point of mistaking. We're transitioning, we're preparing the community to come back. If I'm not mistaken, we did some kind of a survey among our, actually, ang mas may major adjustment, well, aside from the young people, ang may adjustment karon are our faculty. Parang naa sila fear of going back because nga of what happened. Ang among staff, they're beginning to see kasi the reality, the campus. So, tungod kay split work arrangement kami. There are those who report Monday to Wednesday, and then the rest will report Wednesday to Friday, or one team reports 1 week, another team reports the following week on rotation. Pero what we're getting is that it appears like many of our faculty are naidaghang kahadlok going back to the university. Our students even have, based on the fact that we were opening the school already for them. They just follow reservation protocols when they'd like to come to use the facilities for but we're not getting good responses. Na I fear ang mga bata, but we needed to kanina Miss Iki was saying about the administrators now we need to show up. We were also reminded as administrators we need to make the faculty, the staff, the students and their parents feel that the campus is safe. So we need to take the lead in making people feel that we're doing our very best to make the campus safe. It's not going to be perfect yet in terms of IATF regulations, speaking of CHED and DepEd regulations, and even the local government regulations. But at least ipakita nato nga there are efforts to make sure that our campuses are safe.
Yeah, thank you, Richie and Nikki. Maybe at this point in time, because we have few minutes for Nikki, she has another meeting with the president. Maybe let's open the plenary for questions. You may ask questions. Kung kinsa ganahan mangutana, you can unmute yourself. Just raise your hand if you want, or you sulat lang sa chat box. Okay. Questions from the plenary? Any questions? Or kayo ni Miss Nikki and Richie may question ko sa kanila. Let's wait, be. Kung nabay mag...
Bawal man ya.
While waiting for the question siguro, wala pa man. Wala pa. Any questions? Wala? Sige. If none, we'll wait for everyone. Kung kinsa yung maka-ask a question, just put the chat box. Maybe we'll ask Nikki. What have you learned personally and professionally from this pandemic? Personally and professionally, what have you learned so far? Especially on looking after people entrusted to your care, no? The associates. Sino yung pinaka-challenge so far that you've shared with us? Ano bang mga
Ano ba? What have I learned? Parang wala. Hindi, joke. What have I learned? We cannot control outside factors talaga. But we can only control how we react to things. I'll give you an example. I had two associates ang tawag namin sa partners namin. Two associates during this pandemic. Both of them feeling depressed and when I say depressed, hindi to yung very sad. I mean clinically depressed. And both putting aside yung, of course they were both going through the same na they were going to therapy and then merong bulong ganyan, no? But the way na they decided how they would react to what was going on around them was very different. Yung isa was talagang stuck. I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this, ganon. Eventually, she had to resign from us kasi hirap siya. Kasi ang mindset niya, I can't do this, I can't do this. Yung isa, at magkaibigan tong dalawang to yung isa, sabi niya, hindi ako papatalo. And she said, parang, I think we were all, alam mo yung hindi ka makatulog sa gabi, yung mag-uumaga na, gising ka pa. But instead of just lying down and staring out into space, sabi niya, hindi, I'm going to do something. And during the pandemic, she had 2 research articles accepted by international journals. Alam mo yun, she decided na I will be productive. I feel really horrible right now, but I don't want to feel horrible. So, parang gusto kong gawa ng case study kasi parang lang kinakausap Mm-hmm. It's the mindset. And and that's the only thing you can control. Ako din, when I was asked to be VP for LAMCEL, dun ko na-realize ang reklamo ng community. Ang daming reklamo. Pero if all I could think of was how to please everyone and how to and I will feel bad if someone was mad at me, parang I will not last. Ang akin is I work for the common good. And I really see the community as, di ba, entrusted to my care by the brothers and by God na binibigay ko yan sa'yo, alagaan mo ha. Pag masama ang loob mo sa akin, like halimbawa after this I have a meeting and then I have to talk to our central student government who is asking for a break. And we said no, we need you in the classroom. I have to talk to them. So if my mind is thinking na, oh no, galit sila sa amin, magagalit sila sa akin, ganun. Wala. Hindi ko magagawa ng maayos yung trabaho. So, that's what I realized. Na I can only control how I react to situations. And that's what I try to encourage the rest of the community to see. Now, you cannot control the way these people think and the way that you cannot control COVID. You cannot control the gas prices. Diba? You cannot control the fact that we want you back inside the offices 3 times a week. But ano ba, are you going to be sobrang sisimangot ka ba all the way here, or ngingiti ka naman ng konti para hindi masyadong masama sa loob mo na pumapasok ka? So I guess that's what I learned na pinaka-importante during this time.
Thank you, Nikki. I think I should put that again. No? We cannot control outside factors. We can only control how we react to things. Miss Nikki,
Parang si
Juan Talks 2.0, ha?
Parang si ano ata yan? Si Covey ba yan? Would you know? Yung mga parang
Something, yeah.
Parang ganon, I think, no? Yun.
Thank you for sharing that, Nikki. No, that actually, I'm sure many of us would either agree or reflect on it. No? Okay. Sana napaisip din. Ako napaisip ako saglit. Oo nga pala. I have the tendency na what will they say? Ano sasabihin nila? So parang I cannot make a decision.
Oo.
That's one of the challenges kasi pagbibigyan ka ng responsibility, no.
At saka pag bago kang admin, bro. Pag bago kang admin, sorry yung mga iba dyan, pag bago kang admin, the ones who have been in administration positions for so long, or for at least longer than me, always have something to say. Nako, ingat ka dyan. Ay, ingat ka kay lalaglag ka. Mga ganun. And dalawa kasi kami, even our Vice Chancellor for Academics is new. He started at the same time. And sabi namin, the two of us, it's a good thing. By the way, yung mga mission people here, please make peace with your academics. Yung mga counterparts niyo sa academics, no? You have to good thing. It's a good thing na we're friends. I mean, even outside of Benil, we have become friends. Kasi sabi namin, we talk to each other, and then sabi namin, we cannot work this way. Na hindi pa nga, wala pa kaming encounter sa tao. Meron na kaming, parang, di ba? Parang ganon. So, we have to, para sa amin, at saka I get my inspiration from Brother Vic. Brother Vic, wala talagang masamang tinapay dyan. And something happened to me recently. I forgot what happened, but I still remember the learning. And my learning is, I cannot judge people unless I have a direct experience with them. And even then, yung judgment ko for that person is only for that moment. The next time I meet, kailangan no judgment ulit. Kasi ibang tao na siya from that person that I met a week ago. For all I know, last week, may mga ganap. Kaya ganun siya. This week, iba na. So I cannot judge anymore again. And I have to remember that every single time na I talk to someone. Siguro, dala yan with working with the deaf and work with the Center for Inclusive Education. Yun yung nag-prepare sa akin for this na, no judgment all the time. No judgment. Every time I see them the first time, no matter how, I have to cite myself. No judgment. Walang At saka sometimes I have to remind myself kapag kunyari may hiniret yung tao sa akin. So, walang ibig sabihin yun. It's not an attack on me as a person. Walang ibig sabihin. Sinabi lang niya. Hindi ko alam kung bakit niya sinabi. Sinabi lang niya. Pero hindi ako dapat magpa-apekto. Pero hindi ibig sabihin nun wala akong puso. May puso pa rin ako. I
was about to mention that. May puso pa ba to si Nikki?
Meron. Pero I choose to use, kumbaga, the love that my heart and my emotions, I choose to use it to love the community and to hold the community during this difficult time na, the pandemic, people getting sick, people having to be let go, di ba? I choose to use my heart for that instead of being afraid. Ang cheesy ko. I'm so sorry. Sorry.
So before I call Richie, siguro I'll just mention some mga nakalagay sa chat box natin. I think na-mention ni Sir Tupe si Brother Hans. He has a very long story on Brother Hans, I'm sure. Si Miss Enkoy, Miss Mel, Brother Marvin, this is Brother Marvin Sipin. Yeah, tama.
Nasa Dasma na.
Oo, nasa sa Dasma karon.
At estudyante namin.
Tama. He can do the sign language already, no?
Yes.
Miss Bambi mentioned Brother JJ, the most objective man. Objective, a man of character. Wow. It's nice. Thank you, Miss Bambi. I'll mention that to Brother JJ. Si Miss Cecil shared parang transition program or session siguro to help each one as we go back to school in our new normal setup. Distressing for those who lost their loved ones sa COVID. Yeah. That's true. I agree. We can look into that program.
Imuhang area na.
The formation team are here naman, no? So
Imuhang area na.
lagi.
Yeah.
Especially I have something personal also on that. No, I mean after losing my mother in the midst of the pandemic while looking after the school community was also difficult. No, so I have a growing need for parang to look after myself also emotionally because it seems it is affected myself, meaning decision making, my way of thinking, parang shattered pa rin ako hanggang ngayon. And I'm sure a lot of our lay partners here are also into that situation. So thank you, Miss Cecil, for sharing that. Si Miss Jean Potesta shared psychological first aid is very helpful. I'm sure the well-being committee, no, led by the LSPC,
Pero, brother,
they're looking into that at the moment.
Brother, I have something to share also, no? Kasi during this time, we depended so much on our counselors. Alam mo, yung na-realize ko, sino kaya nag-aalaga sa counselors natin? So, ganon. We are also trying to look at taking care of our counselors. I'm not a counselor, so I cannot offer them, parang the kind of service that they offer our students and our adults in the community. Pero we've opened listening circles. And yung una naming pinakinggan, yung counselors. Kasi sabi namin, nako, papangkinggan muna namin kayo. How are you feeling? Are you ready to come back? Mga ganun, no? Kasi sila din naman namatayan. Sila din naman nagkasakit, di ba? Yung ganun. Sila din nahihirapan. And yet, they're expected to be okay when they're in front of the community. So yon, kamustahin din natin ang ating counselors.
That's true. Andito sila. Kumusta kayo, Miss Bambi? Sino pa ba nandyan?
Thank you for the work you do and mag-ingat po kayo. Alagaan niyo sarili ninyo para maalagaan niyo kami.
Yan. Thank you so much po. Sige. Are there any questions from the group, from the plenary? Please post it sa chat box if you do have questions. Maybe Sir for Richie, what about you? Nikki, you still have time to be with us.
Last 5 minutes, pinapatawag.
Okay, Richie, how about you? Before that 5 minutes is consumed, baka may mag-ask ng question kay Nikki.
Sige. Mangopya gyapon ko because I No, but I can sum up learning overall. It's not just for me, but it's really for the entire community. I'll say it in Cebuano, magtinabangay. I think COVID presented us a situation that we're really called to support and help each other. Magtinabangay is for me the overall umbrella of what we need. Nandun na ako sa administration is expected to do the things they are expected to do. We need to do this, to do that, to make our community safe, to make our campus safe, to make our programs resilient from this or that. That's incumbent upon us, that's expected. That's just one aspect. Kinahanglan ta magtinabangay because people need to rise to the occasion and be each other's brother, be each brother's sister, be each other's companion. Ang invitation nga nakita nako, brother, Miss Dicky, and the rest are here. No? Invitation really is cannot be down challenge of trying to rise above just one thing, just doing what we are expected to do, to doing what I can contribute to the community beyond what I'm expected. There's no looking back na eh. After COVID, things will change. Wala na tayo balikan nga karaang normal. Our normal is a new normal. Ang atong pangadje, ang atong prayer is that this new normal is a better normal. So importante nga everybody does his, or her own share. Fine. You're a teacher, you're doing your job online, etc. Pero kaibawta nga in our teaching and accompanying young people online, there is something more that's asked of us. And we cannot afford to just say, outside naman na sa akong responsibility, why would I do that? I'll give it to them. But that's a call of the moment. That's part of the invitation because nobody wanted what happened with COVID. It's here. So we cannot afford to just leave it to admin team ray bahala na wala milabot na. Pag okay na sulod me kung kinahanglan. Or teacher na kay kami kanang dichotomized without compartmentalized. We cannot afford that. Magtinabangay ta in trying to accompany each other. Magtinabangay ta in trying to make sure that our young people will make it feel really safe, not just in terms of the physical campus as safe, but it is safe for me when I'm in my online class. At nag-express ako sa teacher ko nga, I don't feel like attending the session today kay murag wala, dili ko okay. Diba? Things have really changed. So para nako, depending personal, professionally, or as part of magtinabangay really captures it. Kay kita man tanan maglambigit sa kinabuhi, di ba? So ang panaglambigit nato is also an invitation nga magtinabangay. Dili lang na I like your term of lambigit kasi it's so alive. It's so interactive. People are so, alam mo yun, yung interacting with one another. But in that panaglambigit, the real call is magtinabangay. So the brothers, without a doubt, the brothers are doing your best to make sure that we are all taken care of. That's the mission. Pero tayo, we cannot just afford to stay sa level nga profession na to, trabaho na to ni period. But if we start moving towards seeing what we do as vocation na to, we also try to stretch a bit, and we don't say, if I do this beyond what I'm expected, you have to pay me. Or if I'm doing this beyond what I'm expected, naagid siya ikapuli or kapalit. It's not going to be easy perhaps for everyone, but I think that's really the call. And we need to own it up and take it upon ourselves na I need to do my share. So ako, I do my share as an administrator, but I also realize that if I stop being an administrator, I'm an employee. So I therefore need to do my share as well. But more importantly, I am entrusted to accompany young people. I need to do my share. We need to make young people feel that online, on-site, wherever, for as long as they're in the school community, they're safe and they are accompanied really well. Again, ubalik ko sa giingon ni Brother Alvaro, ang atong former Superior General. Ang mga bata, they're not seeking perfection in us. What they're looking at us is yung commitment with how true we are to the commitment we have made as part of the school community. That's an important statement of Brother Alvaro that remains in. So importante na. Thank you.
Thank you.
I thank you.
Sige, I'm opening again. If there are questions from the group or points, please post sa chat box. Si Miss Bambi, thank you for taking care of us. We do have self-care programs, support from colleagues, inspiring us to strive for the good, and for asking how we are. Yun. Meron. Okay. Sige. Siguro before we let Nikki go, one last question for you. What do you look forward to in the new normal? What do you look forward to in the new normal?
What do I look forward to sa new normal? Oh my gosh. Long, tight hugs from my colleagues who are my friends. Kasi we have colleagues who are not our friends, diba? Pero from my friends and my colleagues. And seeing students face to face. Iba ibang magturo, although matagal na ako hindi nagtuturo kasi nga admin, but iba pa rin, iba yung, hi Miss Nick, ganyan, na naririnig mo kasi nandyan siya. Iba yun eh. Yun talaga, naiiyak ako at the thought of, I really want to see, that's what I look forward to, seeing them face to face. Yun. At the end of the day, relationships talaga eh. And relationships are so hard to manage online.
That's true.
Yun. So
Something that we need to reflect on pala, Nikki, no? Yung how we manage our virtual based, but tawag din yung relationships, no? Ang daming na affected niyan eh, no? Because things have changed. Classroom, how we relate sa classroom, iba na kasi sa Canva. Iba sa learning space, engagement space ngayon, na iba din siya, no? Iba din ang experience ng offline. May offline din tayo, no? So iba-iba.
Pero you know what, one thing na I realized then, so maybe you should also be very aware of this. Kasi nakausap ko yung yung meron kaming, Lasal Green Hills has a member of their board of trustees who was a USEC at DepEd dati. And this person was my teacher in college, si Dina Ocampo. And nag-usap kami, ang sabi nga niya, we have forgotten how to interact with each other face to face. We have forgotten how to engage on a personal basis. So that means we have to be patient with each other again. So pag the first time we meet each other, minsan, especially kung hindi mo naman super friend, no? Para, di ba, I don't know about you pero sa amin, parents have become more demanding. Students have become less respectful. Maybe because nga, yung mga ganyan, you catch it during interactions. And it's been 2 years of no interaction. So it's relearning. It's relearning for us, it's relearning for them. So we have to be patient. And as administrators and teachers who are Lasallian, you have to set the example. And because you're here, there are 76 of you here, minus kami ni Rich. There are 74 of you here. You have to be the example talaga. Let's remind the community of what it means to be a Lasallian community. Yun.
Sabi nga ni Richie, baka when we meet each other, please unmute yourself daw masabi.
Please unmute yourselves. Or alam mo yung nare-realize ko, true story, face-to-face meeting, yung merong sobrang inappropriate sinabi yung katabi ko. Tapos, tingin ako, alam mo bang, face-to-face ka na, hindi ka na nakamute ha? Tapos siya
Same thought, yeah.
alam mo siya, did I say that out loud? Yes, dude. Parang the most inappropriate thing. Pero yun lang. We just have to remember na pag lumabas sa bibig mo, hindi na nakamute yung marinig ka na. Rinig ka na ng mga tao.
So, I'm sure, speaking of online virtual spaces, sino dito ang pagod na sa kaka-Zoom or Google Meet? Pa-heart naman dyan. Let's have a survey sa screen.
Ganyan ang reaction ko.
Oo.
Sino pa ba? May mga nag-heart ba? Pagod na sa Zoom at saka Google Meetings. No? Yeah, actually, minsan sa mata, no? That's part also of our health. No? Paano yan yung screen natin. No?
Saka ibang pagod to, no? Dati lang, sobrang pagod din ako sa work, pero hindi ganito.
Kaya yung Holy Week, I said, no Zoom meeting for me, no Zoom-based retreat for me. So yun, nag-face-to-face ang brothers. I'm sure we all miss. Kaya siguro for LSU, this morning, seeing our students on campus, sadya gud kayo, no? Bibo jud kayo. Although it's limited lang to 500.
Yeah.
Limited lang to 500, but still, no? I mean, it's really different karon nga na yung mga student karon sa campus like siya. Although ang difference is naka-mask and then we try to be safe gihapon. So, yeah. Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you.
I'm sure you you have the president waiting. Send my
Ano?
regards. Send our regards to Brother Dodo.
Okay po. Sige, yes, I will.
I will I'll just call you after para magkumustahan pa rin tayong tatlo ni Richie and perhaps with other VPs or VCs for mission. No? Thank you so much, Miss Nikki.
Alright. Sige.
Uzamis miss you. Please come to Uzamis. Come home to Tita Perang. Ha?
Oo nga, she's so old na But I've only met my relatives from there ng parang paminsan-minsan lang. Unfortunately, kapag may namamatay, nakakapag-anak, diba? Nako. Kailangan makapagpunta ulit. Sige. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Thank you so much and God bless our university. Thank you so much, Nikki. Yan, Richie, what about
Bye. Ay, akala ko mag-bye na po.
What about you? What do you look forward to the new normal? It's 3:20. We're about to end na.
Wasting time with people, with young people. Ako, I use, the brothers use that, no? Yung wasting time with young people. What does that mean? Kanang makita kita, for example, sa cafeteria, and you say hi to them, then you say, kumusta mo? We need that because a Lasallian educational experience is about relationship. Yes, we try our best to strengthen that relationship online, but that's not relationship. Iba pa rin yung you get people reacting to something, you get to see them. Kanina when the sharing was made, I was thinking, nice siguro na in our schools magbutang kagdakong freedom wall and say, we just put the question there, kumusta ka? Then we allow people to just write, di ba? Nice siguro na nga himo, kumusta ka? So knowing that they've been away for 2 years.
Sa UK, di ba? Patong train station all aboard something. That's nice.
Pwede nga na, but we can do a local version. I'm kind of thinking na himuon na when they enter the campus, you have somewhere along the main halls or whatever. Kumusta ka? So no judgment, no interpretation of whatever is there, just allowing young people. That would be a nice sight because young people have lots of stories to tell, for sure. So I look forward to wasting time in a sense because I like to interact with people. So imagine that. I like to see them, kumusta mo? Kumusta mo diha? Kumusta ang just that question will lead to conversations with young people. So that's what I'm really looking forward to as well. Because the new normal, not only because we're hearing it, but we now come to understand the new normal is not anymore the same normal prior to the pandemic. Major changes.
Thank you, Richie. May sharing dito, sabi ni Miss Cecil, kami nga full online. Shock absorber sa parents and guardians who share all their COVID-related issues and concerns to us. Stressful kaayog yun, no?
I could imagine.
I'm sure daga makarelate. Labaw nagmingon nga, ma'am, wala dyan ko'y or brother, wala ko'y pambayag tuition fee, no? Naman ang akong maduulan ani kay si Kuan gyud. Ma'am Lourdes na, mas Ma'am Lourdes na ba din? No? So, nga kita dyan tayo mas stress yung pagpangita. Saan ka ito na, uy, luwi kayo. Si Aniver ini siya, yes, very true. I think something to do with interacting with the young. Miss Bambi also agreed to the idea na about that wall. Maybe it's really good that we consider that idea. No? I've seen that in sa train station sa UK. No? I'm not sure if it's all aboard. Something. They write anything lang during the day. How are you? And then they write something. Maybe that's one space that we can look forward. Like we can put up here as we move to limited face experience. Richie, if it's all right, let's open the floor for questions.
Sure.
Maybe mga question or share insight ang atong lay partners sa Uzamis. We still have 5 minutes more before we have the end part. Na gusto mag-share or question, just unmute yourself. Be acknowledged lang kung pakilala lang. Or naula marag ulawon magud mi diri dapita ko. Pwede di man kay Bisaya man ni si Richie good. Okay raman tani siya. Wala jay mangutan no. Pero ako kung gusto pangutan sa tan, kumusta na mo? Pwede po mo butang sa chat box. So if wala na yung maka-share or mag-ask a question, maybe before we close the our episode this afternoon, I request the tech team to share the QR code. And then please also find time to click on the evaluation form that will be posted sa chat box. Sometimes it's nice to share our thoughts about the webinars or the formation sessions that we organize, like this one, Juan Talks. No? So on screen is our QR code for this session. If you will earn 6 badges, you will qualify sa atong 16 prizes nga gina-organize karon sa Panaglambigan. You'll have chances to win prizes each day, no? So ano na lang, okay, kung mana, that's the QR code. Here comes the
sun. S-U-N.
Asa ang link? Copy, it's here. There. For our evaluation. It's in the chat box. So thank you so much, Richie. I'm sure this conversation will not end this afternoon. We will have more conversations on how do we make ourselves healthy, no, as a community, as a university here in Ozamis, no, especially that we are moving already to limited face-to-face. At best, we are looking forward also to baka face-to-face nga retreat and recollection already for the lay partners sa Gala, no? I'm sure everybody misses Gala Farm already. No? So we'll go there and relax. No, nanangid nga, wala mi ugma kay mga tumi sa Gala. Ako, go. If that's the way, if that's where you will find yourself for your own well-being. No? So yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. There's a request that we'll share the QR code. Pwede pa share usab. Anyways, Richie, thank you so much on behalf of LaSalle University. I'm sure you will have. This is not the last time. No, you've been our resource person. I think this is the second time already. No, this is not the last definitely. So more time with you. No? So, ayun.
Daghang salamat also for having me.
Ako ma-share ang certificate, but the certificate is here. But thank you on behalf of LaSalle University, and to you, Aniki, daghang salamat kaayo sa inyong tanan. Ug sa tanan nga naa diri sa Juan Talks, daghang salamat sa inyo ha. And those who are watching via YouTube through Canvas, daghang salamat. This is Juan Talks. This is Brother Butch with Sir Richie and Miss Nikki and everyone else. Maayong LaSalle kanatong tanan. Leave Jesus in our hearts forever.
Ayong LaSalle. Daghang salamat.
Forever.
Picture. Siganahan mo join sa picture. Ako sa ning i-unpin.
Wala na tumaapil si Miss Nikki sa picture.
Sige lang. Pwede pa unpin. Saan ni pag-unpin?
Gusto ko ng Juan Talks, Jose Speaks. Di ba? Kasi Jose Richie man ko. So Juan Talks, Jose Speaks.
Can we turn on our cameras para picture? Yan. So,
Okay,
Sir S.
yes, brother. We have 3 screens, so tastasan na lang atong smile. Okay, first screen in 3, 2, 1. Second screen, 3, 2, 1. Third screen, 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. For those who'd like to stay and magkumustahan, please feel free to do so. We can continue with the conversations. Kato may gusto lang. Okay, we still have 10 minutes to use this account.
All right, I'll go ahead. Daghang salamat.
Thank you,
Bye, everyone. God bless us all.
salamat kaayo, Sir Richie. Stop the recording na, sir. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Recording stopped.
Oy, katong nagpabilin, kumusta man mo? Pwede mo ma-unmute. Kumusta naman mo? Yes, Jenny. Thank you.